All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, YouTube. My name is Omar. It is Friday. It's about 11 o'clock. I stay in Las Vegas, Nevada, so it's about 11 o'clock where I'm from. 11 o'clock in the morning. But I'm here to give you another feature presentation today. Now I know that we're getting ready to start the Super Bowl weekend. It's been a rough week. I'm sure you guys have heard the news with the helicopter crash and all that. But today what I want to talk about, and this is something that was kind of touched on when I had a conversation with the individual at my job. What I want to touch on is it comes in the form of a question. Is being rich a curse? Is being rich a curse? Is having a lot of money, having a lot of material possessions, does that end up being a curse to you compared to actually being a blessing? That's what I want to touch on this morning, because I think that a lot of people got a twisted view on what it means to exactly be rich or be famous, for that matter. I mean, we got a lot of teenagers, a lot of young adults who only look at the positive side of being rich, having a lot of material possessions, having a lot of fame, but we don't want to look at the negative aspects that comes with it. So today, or this morning, I just want to break it down for you into four parts on why being rich can potentially be a curse to you. The first part I'm going to touch on is that it allows you to be lazy. The second reason why it can be a curse is because you can end up doing reckless things to yourself and to others. The third reason why will be because that it makes you feel like you're untouchable. And the last reason that I want to discuss as far as why being rich is a curse is because it can end up making you greedy at the end of the day. So do you believe being rich is a curse? Now, the first example or the reason why I touched on is that being rich makes you lazy. It can actually make you lazy. I want y'all to think about this. When you have a discussion with people about, what if I win the lottery? What if I hit the lotto? What if I hit the jackpot for 200 million, 100 million, whatever, 50 million? And majority of the responses you're going to get is that, well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to quit my job. Since I got all this money and now I got all this free time, I'm going to quit my job. Quit your job and do what? Just spend the rest of your life just in leisure, doing the things that you want to do? Do you see what I'm saying? How being rich, especially if you just happen to have like a windfall of wealth just coming to your life all of a sudden, how it can make you lazy? I mean, think about those folks who actually inherited wealth. They inherited a large sum of money, millions of dollars, from the previous generation or two that's before them. What kind of a work ethic do you think they really have? I want y'all to be, what kind of a work ethic? Now, I'm not dissing those families who have grandfathered their wealth, but I'm just saying, what kind of work ethic do you think they have? If you're somebody that's been grandfathered wealth, and the people before you put in the work to actually gain those riches, and they just pass it along to you, you feel as though, I can just sit here and chill. I don't have to do anything. So do y'all see how being rich can actually make you lazy at the end of the day? Now, that's just one. Another reason why being rich can be a curse to you is because you will start to do reckless things. You will start to have reckless behavior. How many times have we have we seen in the tabloids or in the news how this rich person, this famous person is abusing drugs to the point where they abused it to the point where it caused them their death. They end up overdosing on something. It ended up giving them some kind of a health complication. And they end up dying as a result. See, being rich, it allows you to be more reckless in your behavior. And that's just one aspect of drugs. You know, with a lot of the NBA players and the entertainers out there, prior to you being rich, no girl wouldn't necessarily give you the time of day. Or maybe I should say very few. But one thing, when you got a lot of money, all of a sudden the women just come out the woodworks wanting to sleep with you. And that caused problems right there, because now you got to deal with these paternity suits, right? You got to deal with that. You got to deal with these STD lawsuits. Have y'all noticed that that's been increasing more and more recently? Is these lawsuits, paternity lawsuits, these STD lawsuits that's been going on with these rich guys? Now, don't get me wrong, but this is how I look at it. That ain't nothing but a good old extortion tactic. You may not agree with me, but to me, that ain't nothing but an extortion tactic. Now, for those of you who may be a little bit confused on what extortion means, I'm going to just break it down to you as simple as I can. What extortion means is that, let's say I know a guy named Bobby. I know a girl named Susie, right? Let's say I know Bobby, I know Susie. I know a dark secret about Bobby and Susie that nobody else knows. I know something, a dark secret or something in their past that nobody else knows that can embarrass them, that can publicly humiliate them. So what I do is that I might tell or call up Bobby and Susie and say, hey, if you don't give me $50,000, I'm going to expose your deep, dark, ugly secret to the public. If you don't give me this amount of money, I'm going to tell the people that you got that abortion as a teenager. I'm going to tell the people that you done cocaine as a teenager or a young adult. I'm going to run my mouth to the public and tell them that you slept with the boss in order to get that promotion. Do y'all see what I'm saying? Now, to Bobby and Susie, they like, oh no, I got millions of people who adore me. I got millions of young girls and young boys who idolize me. I can't have that secret out because that's going to make me look a certain way. So here, how much money do you want? Here, I'm going to write you a check. Good old-fashioned extortion tactic. Now that's just a conversation for another day. I'm not going to get too far off track here. But that just goes to show you of some of the curses of being rich. Now that's number two. Number three thing, and it kind of ties along with number two, is that being rich causes you to feel that you're untouchable. It causes you to feel untouchable. Why do you think so many of our athletes, so many of our entertainers are always getting into trouble? Why do you think that? Because they feel as though I'm above the law. I'm above the rules. I'm above everyone else. Those laws that you have to and you have to abide by, I don't have to abide by those same rules because I'm rich. I'm wealthy. Oh, and by the way, if I do get in trouble, I'm not too worried about it because all I got to do is dole out a little money. That's going to get me out of it. That's all I got to do. I can just dole out some money, get a lawyer, dole out some money to the person, the victim that's accusing me of something, and everything is going to go away. Everybody's going to forget about it. Just picture yourself. You worked hard your whole life trying to perfect your craft, and you at the point now where you a multi-millionaire. You sitting on millions of dollars. You got millions of people that idolize you. Millions of people that look up to you. You got young boys and girls that look up to you. You got men and women that want to be like you. You have an exceptional talent. You feel as though you on top of the world. Wow, can't nothing touch me. Death can't even touch me. I want y'all to think about that. You get to the point where you got amassed so much wealth and got so much fame to where you feel as though nothing can touch you. The little mundane, everyday things that everybody else is worried about, that don't concern you no longer. You're not worried about getting into a fatal car accident. A car accident where it can leave you disfigured. Paralyzed from the neck down, from the waist down. You're not thinking about one of your close family members passing away all of a sudden, real suddenly. You're not thinking about a health diagnosis that can change the course of your life. You're not thinking about all that. You feel as though you are untouchable. Can't nothing touch you. And that kind of leads to why a lot of those people that are rich start to indulge in those reckless behavior, because they feel as though nothing can touch them. Nothing bad is going to happen to me. Y'all see where I'm going with this? Now, the last thing of why being rich can be a curse to you is because it can cause you to be greedy. It can cause you to be greedy. You see, if you go and look in scripture, y'all heard of the story about Lazarus and the rich man? Did y'all hear about how in the story how the rich man fared sumptuously? The finest linen, the finest robe, had the finest lifestyle, was so greedy to the point where he didn't want to give up the crumbs from his house to a beggar on the street. Now we look at that story and think, oh no, that ain't gonna happen to me. I would never get like that. You get to the point where you become so rich and amass so a large sum of wealth to where you don't want to share anything. You don't want to spend time with anybody. You don't want to share that wealth. It's not like you're going to be able to spend that all on your own. It ain't like your family's going to be able to spend all that. So why would you want to keep everything to yourself? Another story. The rich young ruler, when he had that encounter with Jesus. Y'all remember that story in scripture? He didn't want to give up his wealth, his possessions, his title, in order to do something that was bigger than him, in order to be part of a better cause in his life. He didn't want to give none of that up. So do y'all see why being rich can be a curse? You look at James chapter 4 verse 14. It says that why worried about tomorrow? Your life is nothing but a vapor that's here for a little while and then it disappears. Think about that. You only here for a little while and then you're gone. Don't matter if you got $4 in the bank, you got 40 million in the bank. That graveyard is still going to be the same. So that's why I felt like I wanted to do this video, because a lot of people, with 80% of the American public, live paycheck to paycheck. And if they just live within their means, then that number would be drastically less than it is now. If people just live within their means. But I bring that up because people think that, oh, money's gonna solve all my problems. Having a whole lot of money is gonna solve all my problems. I'm not gonna be worried about the things that I'm worried about now if I just have a whole lot of money, if I just became rich all of a sudden. The last time I checked, if you flip a quarter in the air, it has two sides, right? It has a heads on one side and it has a tails on the other side. Being rich has two sides to it. That glamorous lifestyle that they love to portray on TV, everything is okay. You ain't got to worry about no worries, no cares in the world. You can do whatever you want. Such a fabulous lifestyle. They don't tell you the ugly side of that. So whatever it is, you got to make sure that you got to let people know the real deal about these different issues of life. You got to give them the good and the bad so that way that they be able to make better choices when they're about to do certain things. So that's my video for this morning. I hope everyone has a good weekend. Peace.